There's a reason why your AI content sounds robotic. Once I fixed it, it took my LinkedIn from this to this. And what I'll share with you in this video has grown hundreds of business owners on social media, and I'm giving it to you step by step for free. And by the end of this 50 minutes, you'll be left with an AI that is as good, if not better, than a social media manager that will cost you $4,000 a month. We're gonna implement together, so let's jump over to the computer.
I'm gonna break down how to train ChatGPT to become your content clone so that you can create a week's worth of brand aligned content in 53 minutes or less without losing your voice. And just to show you that this is working right now, these are my LinkedIn stats. More than 24 million organic impressions in the last few months. And you can see that's up from next to nothing. And can you guys tell when I started my AI clone? Which month do you think I started using my AI clone in? Yes, exactly, guys. Right here, you can see it went from barely any new audience growth to 20,000 in less than a month. What would 20,000 new followers do for your business if you got that in less than a month? This also generated 12,784 new email subscribers in the last 90 days organically. And that's coming just from LinkedIn. And look, the quality is high. If you see here, founder, CEO, owner, co-founder, sales manager, I mean, that's perfect for who my business serves. And then let's look at Facebook. Doesn't work anymore. It's not the best platform. Can you tell when I started using my AI content clone on Facebook? When do you think it was? I mean, just look at this. It was right here. And you can see 17,900,000 plus views, right, are coming from Facebook. I had literally next to no views before. Then I went up to 500,000 in a month. Now, more than 1 million each month. And this is all coming from text and not video content. Like, how relieving would it be for you if you never needed to make video again, but you could still get hundreds of leads a month? How much easier is that than like having to get all ready to make all these videos? And it's super frustrating when all the camera stuff goes wrong. And listen, while those views are cool, I don't know about you, I think you guys are here because you're posting on social media because we want to make more profit, right? Okay, because like, check this out. Those views resulted in 52,900 leads over the course of the last couple of years. All from organic posts alone, meaning no ads. In just 1 month, 1,700 leads, 927 appointments, which is 30 sales calls booked per day. So if you just think about how those views then turn into leads and profit, like that's what we're talking about here. I'm not just one of those people to tell you just get more views and, you know, everything sorts itself out. No, because while those stats are cool and impressive, this is what my calendar used to look like before I had an AI clone. Hours creating content, and I just got a fraction of the leads that I get today. Because if you look at my calendar here, like this is literally my calendar from June 2024. I was spending hours and hours creating content. So Jackie says too many, Viraj says 4, Hubert says too much, okay? So yeah, Tom says 4 to 5, right? So that's a lot, many hours each week. And so the question then becomes, well, how can we get your time freed back? Because I want to compare the before and the after. Before, for me, it was more than 10 hours creating content. And today it's less than an hour a week. Before, it was a handful of leads. Today it's hundreds of leads. And I'm by no means saying that you're going to get results like I did, right? My AI clone is using a series of frameworks that I've created over the last decade of running a social media business, serving clients like Founder, Jeremy Miner, and consulting for brands like Fitbit, Ali Abdal, Grant Cardone's 10X, right? But my results picked up exponentially when I started using my AI clone. Because like, guys, this is not just me that this is working for. One of our clients, Luna, used her AI clone and got more than 1,000 replies from one Instagram story, resulting in multiple clients paying her $5,000, despite Luna coming to us because her audience was dead and not engaging with her. And Rachel hit 100,000 followers, up from 26,000 a year ago, with things really picking up during this time of the year, thanks to her AI clone. And guys, this is working for business owners in multiple niches like reversing diabetes. By the way, Charmaine started with less than 300 followers. Now she's at 200,000 on Instagram alone, more than 700,000 on TikTok, and more than 70,000 on YouTube. It's working for companies in real estate. It's working in gut health. You can see here 4 signups for his offer that was between 5 to 6K. It's working in career development. It's working in plant-based nutrition. It's working in government contracts. I mean, can you get more niche than that? Relationship coaching, workplace well-being. In fact, the biggest names in the industry are using what I'm gonna go through today. Like Nathan Chan, who's the founder of Founder, he said that this system made him 27.5K in additional cash collected from half a day's work on one quiet weekend, proving it out, totaling 50K in new profit in June. And Andrew, who'd only ever run paid ads, he was blown away by how good the content is and how closely it aligns with his voice and core message. And within the first week of using his AI clone plus our viral content frameworks, he booked 2 sales calls from one of his very first posts, despite never getting a single lead from his previous attempt with organic content. And listen, I could keep going on and on. We have pages and pages of proof that this works, like Julia, who had 180K cash collected in 1 month with 95% profit margins, or Winnie, who sold 4 $4,500 offers in the DMs with less than 1,500 followers, or Mario, who put his team into our social media sales system and got his employee to close their first 7.5K deal in 1 week after never closing anything before. But I'm not going to bore you with more of that. Okay, instead, let's get into it. Grab a pen and paper, something to take notes with, because you might resonate with Jeanette. When Jeanette first came to the session, she was frustrated. She had the experience, the results, the expertise, but her content wasn't converting. Jeanette, she was going live every week. She was running launches. She was running webinars. She was running promotions. And she said to me, listen, Lauren, I know my stuff changes lives, but no one's paying attention for long enough to find that out. Everything changed for Jeanette when she got her AI clone and the social media sales system. Check this out. During one of our workshops, just like this, Jeanette booked 5 sales calls and closed 4 out of the 5 at $4,000 each, despite her being super skeptical. So here's the question for you. If you're skeptical right now and you're on this workshop thinking, maybe I'll just passively listen and I won't just implement, guys, what would happen for you if you implemented? Maybe you feel the fear, you do it anyway. We are going to be implementing together on this session. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing. So just like Jeanette, you may be skeptical right now. You may be sitting back, listen, Lauren, if you don't show me something extremely impressive, I'm going to hover over that closed Zoom room screen. Okay, that's okay. Jeanette was like that too. But she knows something that the smart 7-figure business owners know. That there's 2 ways to show up. You can show up sitting there passive, show me something impressive or I'm going to leave. Or you can show up with active listening. And active listening is where you hear what I'm saying. You think, how can I apply that to my business? How can I implement that here while we're on this session? Because time's going to pass either way, so I might as well make the most of it. As Tony Robbins says, where focus goes, energy flows. Where focus goes, energy flows. So you guys made a great decision being here today. And also, Tony Robbins says, the more focused you are, the more successful you'll be. So I want you to turn your camera on, grab something to take notes with, put your phone away and focus, because just 1 or 2 of the things that you implement with me today could make all the difference for your business. Seriously, I'm telling you. And before we go any further, I want to be clear on where these insights and strategies come from, because you guys may see me now with a business making more than 100K in profit a month, with this masterclass, with a ton of people here showing up with a bunch of energy, as we can see in the chat, with all of you guys coming from social media using the strategies that I talk about, that I teach my clients. And you can see that this works. And what I'm sharing with you today is literally the system that I'm going to hand to you on a silver platter. Some of you may not obviously know the fact that 10 years ago, I was in the same position that you are. And I was actually scrolling through Instagram when I saw it. My so-called friends had posted this picture. They'd literally set up an entire scene, hanging out without me, making fun of my little social media account. Back then, I was running a health and fitness business. And have you guys ever felt like you were meant for more, but everybody around you makes you feel small for wanting it? If you wanted to grow, but you were afraid of being seen, the people around you were kind of condemning you for doing all of that. So that night, I lay in my bed with my phone hovering over the delete account button. And in that moment, I wanted to shrink. I just wanted to fade away. And I was feeling lost and hopeless, right? And one of the things that I used to do a lot was watch Gary Vee videos. I kept hearing Gary say, your personal brand is your most valuable asset. And as I was watching one of his videos that night, I saw a little link in the description box that Gary Vee was coming to London to run an event. And as you may have guessed from the accent, that's where I'm from. But it was the next week. And my body flooded with excitement, anxiety. And I started thinking to myself, but I already have plans for next week. Who do I think I am to go to a live event? Will I be able to focus when I'm there, or is my mind going to be distracted thinking, am I even meant to be here? And as I was questioning whether or not I should go, my heart sank, because I didn't think that I could afford the ticket. Who here has seen an opportunity but told yourself that you don't have the time or the money or doubted whether you're ready for it. Because in that moment, I remembered a quote from Benjamin Franklin, and it said, "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest." And I knew that if I wanted to be successful, I needed to do what successful people did. So that night, as I lay in my bed contemplating deleting my social media accounts after everybody had just found the account that I'd been keeping a secret, I made the commitment to myself and my future, and I bought the ticket. And this was more than 10 years ago. So 10 plus years, 150,000 social media posts shared, tens of millions of views, thousands of clients, and multiple millions in dollars later, I stood on the same stage as Gary Vee in Times Square, New York, and I got to make a speech about making sales from social media and organic content. So today I encourage you to show up, because one day it will be your name who people who have lost hope are traveling to see speak on the stage. So to be clear, what you're learning today, people have paid between $47 and $197 for. And by the way, to be clear, all they got was the technical version. You could literally go to our site right now and pay $47 just for the basic version without any of the extras that I'm going to give you today. And the reason is because on today's training, I have two hopes, okay? My first hope is that you take all the free stuff that I'm about to give you, you implement it into your business, you get massive results, and you enhance your life and send me a testimonial with the results. That's my first hope. So if you're okay with that, type okay in the chat for me. That is my first hope, okay? And then if that's all that happens, I will be very, very happy and I'll feel so good, because my top focus, whether you pay me or not, is on having the biggest impact that I possibly can on your business and most importantly on your life. You winning is how I win the most. If it makes sense for you to invest in the offer that I'm going to make at the end, then my hope is that you snatch it up quick, fast, and in a hurry and get into it and get results from it. Because if you're the right person, what I'm going to offer you at the end today will cost you more not to own than the small investment you'll have to make to own it. Because whether you're below 6 figures per year right now, making 6 figures already, or making 7 or even 8 figures per year, I can assure you that you will walk away from what I share with you today with immense value, whether you invest in what I have to offer you or not. And I have to be honest, one of the main reasons I began looking into how to write content with AI the right way is because it was driving me crazy to see AI produce content everywhere that was clearly written without a thorough system behind it. Because like a lot of people seem to think that using ChatGPT or any other AI tool is opening up ChatGPT, asking it to make you a post about something, and then copying and pasting what it wrote, and then boom, we have content. But in fact, I asked ChatGPT to write me a post about leadership, and I intentionally told it to forget the training that I've given it. Every time I tried to get it to write me a bad post, I literally couldn't because of how I trained my AI. But anyway, I was like, forget everything that I've taught you. And it wrote this. And just, what it says there, like ChatGPT itself says that an untrained AI would generate content that is, read what it says, very basic, overly general, without personal touch or much depth. So just a quick pulse check. Who here has already been creating content with AI, but it's not really felt like you? Or maybe you just feel like it just doesn't really sound like you by any means. And it's like you're putting stuff out, but it's just not getting your results. See quite a lot of people. Yeah. So guys, I even saw someone selling a course on how to make money using AI in less than 1 hour on the most profitable topics online. Like that's basically what their whole course was selling. Like, make a course in less than an hour and make a load of money from it. And then use AI to make all the funnels and ads to launch it in half a day. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think that's super unethical. Like finding a random topic that you know nothing about and then making a course about it and selling it online. When there's people like you and I who've been in our fields of expertise for long periods of time, who've worked with real people to master our craft and refine our methods. Like these people that know nothing about what they're talking about are just trying to, because they know how to use AI the right way, they're able to just use AI to make a course and then sell that course. When there's people like you that have legit expertise, because you don't know how to use AI the right way, they're getting the clients instead of you. That's frustrating, right? Super frustrating. And that's what I want to help you overcome here today. But then if, you're using AI right now, and it's not generating you content that brings you leads, it takes us back to the initial problem, which is why you use AI to create content in the first place. Because your current content is lacking engagement, so you're hoping that if you use AI, it will create better content for you. If your current content is lacking engagement, so you hope that AI will help create better content for your business. Okay, and the second thing though, is like, if right now your content doesn't drive the revenue you know that it could, you hope AI tools are going to fix that. You think that AI is going to solve the problem, but then it doesn't bring you in the revenue. And because creating content, right, the other problem that we have is creating content that converts. Who here would agree that it takes a lot of time? I mean, take it from me, right? I run a social media marketing agency where we create content for clients. And for years, I ran a coaching program teaching people how to write content. And it would take me 9 to 12 months to teach people the psychology behind content, all the triggers, the hooks, the copywriting of the post. I mean, like, what do you want? Take months to learn this thing and finally start getting results in what, a year from now? Or to be able to master AI so the results come in a matter of weeks? Which would you prefer? Type weeks or months for me. Which one is better for you? Because my assumption is that you're here because you want it to take weeks, not months. And so the truth that nobody is telling you, but I will, is that AI isn't failing you because it can't write good content. It can. It's because of how these tools are actually built. So AI tools like ChatGPT and Claude or Gemini, right? They're powered by something called a large language model or LLM. Bit of a mixture. Fantastic. So what it means, okay, is that they've been trained on billions of examples from across the internet. So something like ChatGPT has been trained on like legit infinite numbers of examples from the internet, which means that unless you use one specific feature that I'll share with you today, you're not going to get content that's specific to you, which means that the social media content is not going to sound like you. Because when you chat with an LLM, or even if you tell it to update its memory, right? Who's ever told ChatGPT, remember this, or update your memory? Okay? Guys, when you do that, you're not permanently teaching it or making it your own. You're giving it surface level instructions. It's kind of like shouting directions at someone that has noise canceling headphones on. So right now, without training AI the right way, AI is guessing what to say. And that's why your posts sound bland, generic, and robotic, just like ChatGPT, showed you what I showed you earlier, right? And so if your content isn't converting, it's not your fault. You've just been using AI wrong and you haven't yet had a way to train it and make it sound like you and convert. You can see Bridger Rogers here, as soon as he got his AI clone that we'll talk about here today, and then of course, the viral frameworks and everything that I give to my private clients, you can see here, Lauren and Scale Systems have generated us hundreds of thousands organically, okay? So here's the secret. In the back end of AI tools like ChatGPT, you can load them with structured, specific data about your business, your message, your offer, your audience, which then turns them into a clone of you. And I'm going to get into a tutorial on how to do that very soon here now. So unless you go into the back end and you feed it structured training data formatted in a very specific way that I'm going to show you how to do today, it's gonna keep generating content that sounds like everyone else because it's a large language model. And that is exactly what kills engagement and trust and conversion. And to be clear, the agenda that we have for this session is I'm going to go through the tutorial. Then I'm going to share with you how to use your new AI clone that you will have created within about 60 minutes from now to generate all of your content for the week in less than an hour each week. And then after that, we're going to do a Q&A, guys. And of course, I will be sharing an offer for some of you guys. That's a total no-brainer. So the Q&A will come. So please keep asking your questions in the chat. Take note of any questions that you've got because we'll go through the Q&A at the end, because I think what I'm sharing with you next is going to answer a lot of your questions, okay? Because I'm seeing the chat and I'm seeing these questions come in. Most of the questions I've seen so far, my training will answer them for you guys, okay? Because guys, after my 11 years in the social media space and having served more than 15,000 businesses and personal brands, helping them with their content and client acquisition, guys, I can tell you that posting nothing is better than posting poorly trained AI content, or posting nothing is also better than rushing your content and then throwing it together without much thought. And the reason why you'd be better off not posting at all is because here's the problem. If we just think about branding generally, people will start to associate your name with nonsense. Do you want that? Give me a yes or a no. Like, do you want people to associate your name with nonsense? You guys don't want that, right? So just going into an AI tool and getting it to spit you out some content, right, is the fastest way to destroy your brand and to not be seen as a credible authority. And I asked this question, I know to you it may be like, oh, why is she even asking me that? Guys, if you go back and look at some of your content and you just ask yourself, would I be proud if 1 million people saw this piece of content? Just be real with yourself and audit your content and ask yourself that. Because if the answer is no, then there's a clear gap in your social media strategy that must be fixed. And it's obviously a good investment of your energy, time, and resources to fix it. Okay. So if you just go into an AI, get it to spit you out content, it's going to diminish your credibility, and it's just content that's filling space. I actually made this random post just having banter about AI content, and it seems like a lot of people resonated. You can see here 861 people replied to the thread that I made. Some were angry with me because they felt called out. Professional writers were laughing with me because everyone suddenly become like a professional writer using grammar and words that they weren't using a year ago. And the biggest problem is that people who are not experts are speaking as though they are experts, meaning that they're getting clients they shouldn't be getting simply because they're pumping out so much content, whereas instead you should be the one getting those clients. And that's what I want to do with you here today. So you must pay attention or else you're going to blink. And just as fast as AI got here, you'll be seeing these non-experts all over your social media feeds, getting the clients who should be coming to you instead. Okay? So on November 30th, 2022, when ChatGPT launched, my team and I shifted our entire focus to one thing, building a system to make sure that our private clients get ahead and not their fake competitors. And that's what I want to share with you here today. And this is actually how, for example, I'm getting results like 20,000 likes, more than 1,700 comments, and 1,000 plus reposts by content that no one knew was written by my AI clone. No one. In fact, that one post that I'm talking about here got 27 inbound qualified sales calls, which resulted in 10 high ticket clients. Again, my AI clone wrote that. It took me less than 5 minutes to review to make sure that I was happy with it. I popped it on the Google Doc that I used for my content, and then a member of my team followed our posting system from that. Literally took me less than 5 minutes because my AI clone did all the work with the proven frameworks, of course, that we give to our private clients. And that is the power of a trained AI. A trained AI, like I'll show you today, a trained AI that can speak like you, and think like your prospects. So now you've seen the proof that this works. Are you ready to get into the implementation?
Quick pause before we get into the next part. If you're watching this, but you're thinking this is exactly what my business needs, but I don't want to build it myself, that is what Scale Systems specializes in. My team jump into your business and we get it running for you, and we can even continue to run it on your behalf so you don't have to figure out any of this alone. If that's you, click the link in the description and book a call. It takes 2 minutes and we can have a chat and see if it's a fit. Now let's get back into the implementation.
All right, love it. So guys, this is what you signed up for. This was what it said on the opt-in page. Train ChatGPT to become your content clone. Create a week's worth of brand aligned content in 53 minutes or less without losing your voice. We're going to do the first part first, second part second. Cool? Type cool if that's cool. All right, guys. So let's go. Let's do it. So there are 5 things that you must train your AI on for it to write content that sounds like you. Okay? And it's easy for you to remember because those 5 things are UAI. So we're going to go through this step by step. Okay? Like we're going to workshop this. UAI. I want to know that you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here. Okay? So it's an acronym that I came up with to make it easy to remember. So here's what UAI is and what it means before we get into implementing. Okay? So the first step is yourself. Okay? So we want to make sure that your AI is trained on your backstory, your beliefs, your tone, the language that you speak. Okay, because if we don't train the AI on you, then it's going to start writing random stories that just aren't true, right? It's not going to feel like you. And then you're going to build this entire brand that just doesn't resonate. And then what ends up happening is if you build a brand that is not truly you, you start to attract clients that are not like you and that feel like a bit of a pain in the butt to work with. And then you end up feeling like you built an entire business that you hate, which can lead to burnout, which can lead to hating your business. And of course, it means you start vibing with the wrong people and then they don't end up becoming a client. So it's a big old waste of time. Okay. So that's why we need to train the AI on yourself. Next up, we have to train your UAI on your offer. Okay. So imagine if you had an AI clone who is trained on your offer better than your best salesperson. If you had an AI that was trained on your offer better than your best possible salesperson could be, and you're probably your best possible salesperson right now. So we need to make sure that your AI is trained on what you sell, your pricing, your positioning, your customer psychology, right? So that it can do exactly that. Because we want the AI to be able to speak like the best salesperson in the world so that you're not hiding what you do, okay? I see this so often on people's social media. Next up is unqualified words. Pulse check. Who feels like ChatGPT killed the word skyrocket? Or like, what are some other words that you see AI saying all the time? Like skyrocket, supercharge, right? What are type some of those words down. Like, it's just so funny because you can see one of those fluff words that no one ever uses, right? Yes, Amanda, you're not broken, exactly. So we want to make sure that your AI has unqualified words that it doesn't say. So you ban these cringy poetic words like skyrocket or like harness the power of, right? It kills stress. And also like M dashes, if you're not someone that always uses M dashes, it's just like blatantly obvious ChatGPT wrote that content if you're suddenly using M dashes out of nowhere, okay? So that's the next thing. We don't want any unqualified words. And we also want to get ChatGPT to intentionally make a few little spelling mistakes every now and then so it looks more human. Cool? All right. The next one is authenticity, okay? We want to make sure that AI sounds like you, not just like a Pinterest motivational quote. So we need to get some of your actual writing examples in there so that if you are someone that, for example, used M dashes before ChatGPT, cool. But if you're not, we don't use them, right? We want to make it sound authentic like you. Because for some people, it's very important, some people not. Typically, it is pretty important with the personal brand. Good. And then finally, instructions, okay? We want to give AI specific jobs so that it writes posts, emails, and scripts on demand. Because we're not going to use the same AI to write social media posts as we are to create like YouTube scripts, as an example. We want to give it different instructions. And right here today, we're talking about content so that we can create your AI content clone, okay? So next up, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building your AI writer, okay? So my team are going to drop a link in the chat to open the doc where we can do this step by step. Okay, as I said, we're going to be implementing on this workshop. This isn't just me like talking at you forever. This is an implementation workshop because that's the way that I like to do things with my private clients as well, right? We implement, we're here to get results. So you can either scan this or you can click the link that we just shared in the chat. And we're going to be it will open up a Google Doc, and the Google Doc looks like this. Now, before you start reading this whole thing, guys, before you start going through the Google Doc and like reading everything to get results, because if you guys start reading this whole thing, that's why we're on a workshop together, okay? So that we can do this step by step. So who's got the Google Doc open? Here we go. Here it is again. Or there's a link in the chat. My team will just drop the link a couple more times in the chat just because I know the chat just blew up. You guys are awesome, by the way. Like, I just want to give like a round of applause for this audience because you guys are just pretty badass. Okay, so by the way, you don't need to make a copy of this doc because we aren't going to be like editing anything in this document. I'm going to be showing you how to go through it step by step. So who's ready? Who's ready? Give me a ready if you're ready. All right, Lavina's ready. Perfect. You guys are ready. Okay, cool. So I'll just give you a breakdown of what this doc is and how to make it work. So this is a guide to clone yourself with AI that will reflect your unique voice and style. And by following this process, you guys are going to basically have a tool that will be able to write content for you that will align with your personal and professional communication style. And it's UAI, okay? The acronym that I came up with. Cool. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to prepare. So very simple, guys. Open your Google Drive. And I want you to make a folder which is titled, like mine would be Lauren UAI Assets, okay? So just go to the Google Drive and make a new folder. Guys, I can't tell you how many clients that I've seen who come to me with like crazy messy Google Drives. So I want to keep this neat and tidy for you here because having a organized online setup is very, very important as you're scaling your business, okay? So all you guys are going to do is go to drive.google.com, open it up, make a new folder called name, which would be your name, and then UAI assets, okay? Here's an example of, okay, fantastic, you guys have done it. All right, I'll just give like 10 more seconds just to let everybody get that done. Perfect. So by now, What you guys have done is you have created a Google Drive folder. Fantastic. Okay, simple stuff out the way. Okay, so you've got a new Google Drive folder. Let's leave that for a second. Okay, here's the fun stuff. So what we're gonna do right now is we're going to do the why element of UAI, okay, where we train it about yourself. So personal details about the author, that's you. Okay, so what we're first of all gonna do is we're essentially going to have we're gonna go into ChatGPT and we're going to create some information about yourself that we're then going to feed into our AI clone. Now, guys, what we're doing right now is called multi-stage AI prompting. Now, not many people talk about this because, of course, this is taking it to the next level. But, one of me and my team's major goals is to empower business owners to get better with AI. Why? Well, because, for example, like I used to have 47 employees on my team. Now it's just 4, guys. And the crazy thing is that back then, right? Imagine having 47 people on your team and just think about the amount of expenses that would have each month. Okay, when you have people from like USA, UK, all around Europe, etc., right? It's costing a lot of money every single month, and that puts a lot of pressure on you as a business owner. Now with AI, I mean, AI can literally work around the clock for you, do so much tasks that otherwise would have taken hours and hours, but only when you know how to use it, right? Which is, we talk about this a lot before. But then on top of having all those employees, right, there's all the management of that, there's all the calls, everything that comes along with it. So I'm going to go through some basic multi-stage AI prompting here today for you guys. And I just need to let you know, this would not be the time to like go and open some other tabs and do some other activities. Like I need you guys to be present with me because I'm gonna go through this like step by step. And so if you get onto another tab, you may get lost. Cool? So who's here with me? So this part's actually really simple, but what you guys are gonna do is if you look at my screen where I am, okay? So we've got the Google Doc, and then we're gonna scroll down to this section, which is number 1, yourself, personal details about the author. You can see what we've done is we've created it really simple for you guys. Okay, so in this box, you can just copy what that says. Okay, so can you guys just copy that for me onto your clipboard? Okay, so you're literally just going to this section with yourself, and in the box, you're gonna just copy the first box, only the first box. Only the first box. Okay, there's 2 boxes. You're doing just the first box under this yellow section. Guys, we're gonna take 5 minutes, and here's what we're gonna do. Open ChatGPT for me, guys, please. You've got it copied, you're gonna paste it there. So guys, we've set this prompt up in a very specific way so that it asks you the questions one by one. Now, here's what's cool. I'm just gonna show you guys. Okay, how would you introduce yourself in a way that reflects both who you are today and what you stand for beyond job titles or achievements? Guys, here's what you can do. You can either type the answer if you like to. So, I stand for freedom, fulfillment, and building a business you love, plus leveraging AI for profit. Okay, that's an example. So you can either type the answer, which is very simple. Okay, then it will give you question number 2. What you can do here is you can actually have like, I call it like a phone call with ChatGPT, okay? I love this so much, guys. This is like one of my favorite things to do. If ever I'm stuck on a problem, like you can click this. And so the question is, what do you think about the concept of freedom in your life and business? What does it specifically mean to you in the day-to-day of reality? And why does it matter so deeply? So again, this is just for me. For you guys, it will be different. But as an example, like if I wanted to, I hit this button and it's like use voice mode, and then I can have a conversation with it. So the reason why freedom matters to me so deeply is because my younger brother is disabled. So I saw him have his freedom stripped away from him at birth. And so I realized that one of my key motivators is to live a life of freedom and fulfillment and to make the most of my life.
Thank you for sharing that personal insight. Could you elaborate on how witnessing your brother's experience has influenced the choice?
Okay, so then basically what it's going to do is you're going to have like a phone call with it, okay? We're still on this first section. We're going to scroll down. Scroll down. We just completed this. We did the first box, okay? Now what you're going to do, because again, this is multi-stage AI prompting, okay? Guys, most people will never teach you this, okay? I'm teaching this because I want you to get ahead. I want you to be leveraging AI to become an AI first company so that you can experience the type of freedom that comes with having AI do so much for you and your business. Like, guys, it's just changed my life so much. I want to gift that to you, okay? So next thing we're going to do is we create a report. So like most people will just leave that there. No. What you guys are going to do is this. You're going to get into this second box, okay? And it says, based on all the information you learned above, create a comprehensive and detailed guide on defining and documenting a personal voice and speaking style. So just copy this. Guys, all you do is copy that. You literally just copy that, boom. Okay, and then get back into the chat where you were and paste it and send it. Simple, right? We're just legit copying and pasting. So into the same chat where you just had that little conversation with ChatGPT, copy this section where we create the report for section 1. So then the final outcome of this first section, the why of the UAI, is to have a complete guide on you, on yourself, right? Your voice and how you speak, so that it's done in a way that the AI can understand. Okay, that's why we create the report, because it creates it in a way that the AI can understand. Cami says this is liquid gold. Thank you, Cami. Maybe I'll ask for a 5-star review. Just kidding. Okay, it helps the AI emulate your voice. Okay, it's a report that the AI can read. It's not just some random chat. No, because what we're now gonna do is whatever your AI responded to you after you asked it for the report. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you a tutorial here, right? I'm gonna go into the chat and I'm just gonna make a new chat, to be fair, because my AI has all the details already. I'm just gonna send it, okay? And basically what it sends to me here, okay, I'm gonna copy it. Okay, so whatever it sent me, guys, in the chat, just copy the whole thing. So you guys are gonna copy what it sent you, and you're going to make a Google Doc with what it sent you as an answer when it asked you to create the report. What you do is you just open and you create a new Google Doc in your folder. Remember, we created the folder, guys. And on that Google Doc, you're literally just gonna paste what ChatGPT sent you in response to asking it for the report. Cool? Skylar, love the speed. Very cool. All right, Ishmael's done. Daria's done. Fantastic. Okay, now I know you guys are following me. Fantastic, okay? It's very simple. So what we just did is we did a little interview. Again, if you wanna go back and do this again, okay, all you're gonna do is you're gonna copy this prompt and paste it into ChatGPT in a new chat and then answer the questions in more detail. Once you're done with all the questions, okay, you then ask it to create you the report with this prompt. Okay, it's already done for you. Don't edit these prompts, just use these prompts. That's multi-stage AI prompting. And then after that, you'll be left with a report that will be in your ChatGPT chat. You don't just leave it in the chat, okay? You copy it out of the chat and you put it into a doc and put it in the doc that it's in your Google Drive folder, okay? We want to have it all in one Google Drive folder just because you want to keep it organized. I want to, give you guys a good hygiene for your Google Drive, okay? So from there, we got the first doc done. Fantastic. So next we're moving on to the second step of UAI, which is offer. So this is your offer, right? So essentially, guys, we're going to literally just do the same thing because my goal is that your AI understands your offer better than like any sales rep could, okay? So real simple, guys. Same thing again. We're going to just copy this prompt into the same chat that you guys already used, okay? So copy that prompt with me, paste it into the same chat that you were using before. The main thing is that it understands basically your background and credibility. That's really key. And what you do for business. So again, same thing, paste, and then go and have the conversation. And we're going to give you guys 5 minutes. Just make sure that you tell the AI what your main offers are. And now you will have you can just use the same kind of title that we have here. And you'll make another Google Doc right there in your Google Drive about your offer. So by now you should have 2 Google Docs in your Google Drive. If you've got 2 Google Docs in your Google Drive, so guys, you just went through the second step, which is where you got ChatGPT to interview you about your offer, okay? After you finished the interview, you then got it to create your report with this prompt, multi-stage AI prompting, that's what we're doing. And then you copied and pasted the response over onto a Google Doc. All right, we move on to unqualified words. Guys, this part's really simple. We're literally blacklisting words so that our AI is not going to use words that we hate. Okay, so quite literally, Like it's very simple. You can adjust this, but the simplest thing just for now, guys, just the easiest thing is copy what's in this box and put it into its own Google Doc. Like literally, you're just gonna call the Google Doc unqualified words. It should be in your same folder. Okay, so it's gonna be the third doc, which is in your folder, and you can just call it like unqualified words. So now when we load this into your clone later, it's not gonna say words like unprecedented. Guys, what we're doing is we're moving into the A of UAI. So by now we've done yourself, your offer, we've done the unqualified words. Now we're moving into the authenticity. Cool? So what we're going to be doing is creating a style guide, and a style guide maintains consistency in your communication, guys. Without this, it's gonna not sound like you. Okay? So again, same thing, you guys know what we're doing by now, right? We're going into this box, we're copying it, and then at the end, you can see you want to paste like at least, I'm gonna just change that to 2. You're gonna paste 2 of your like written content examples. So that could literally be a message that you've sent to your client. It could be a post that you've made on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Just some written content that you've written before, whether it's an email or a text or a social media post. For our clients, right? Like this would be where you take your best posts and paste them here, right? But if you guys do have some top pieces of content, you would put them there. So I'll just show you this live as an example. So I'm copying that, okay? I would head over to the same ChatGPT chat. And then what I'll do is for example, like if I was to go to my Facebook and I go over to my, let's say I wanted to go to my analytics, I could find one of my top posts. Again, only do this if you have good content, right, guys? If your content isn't getting you leads, don't do this. But like as an example, obviously I have very, very good results from my content. So let's just say I wanted to look at, I don't know, one of my posts from the last 90 days or so. And so then what I'll do is I know I have this content on a Google Doc. Okay, so what I would then do is I would grab this piece of content, this whole post, okay? And I would actually just paste the entire post, okay? And then I would just like paste the rest of the post there. And then you would just grab, second piece of content and just paste it there. You can use posts that have good engagement as long as it was the right engagement. You don't want to use content that has not gotten you results. Guys, by now you have copied the below into your conversation with a couple of written content examples. Send that through, okay? What you're going to be left with is a style guide. So basically what it gives back to you, copy that into a Google Doc in the same folder, and then you're going to be left with 4 Google Docs in your folder there. You guys can see this example. If you actually scroll to the top of the Google Doc, you can see here there's under clone yourself on the section 0 preparation. If you go to the very top of the doc, very top, you see there's this section that says preparation, yeah? There's this example of this Google Drive folder, okay? With the 5 completed assets. As you guys look at this Google Drive folder, by now, right, what you guys have already done is as follows. You've got Y, O, U, and the A. You've done all of those so far. So we're getting on to step 5 now. Y, O, U, A, done. Now we go on to the I of the UAI, the instructions. So the reason why we need instructions is because we can give our AI a job, okay? So obviously, what we're doing here now in this chat, the AI already knows, this chat knows a lot about you. So what you're going to say is based on everything, you guys are going to, again, copy everything in here. But essentially, what this is going to do is it's going to give you the output required in order to give your AI a job. So just copy all of this into the same AI conversation. Real simple, guys. Real simple. Okay, just copy that into the same AI conversation. Boom, paste. That's the step that we're following here. Essentially then, the final doc is going to be what it responds back to you there. So you take what it responds to you there, okay? Copy all of that onto a Google Doc, because now what it's done is it's taken everything that it knows about you. It knows your style, it knows how you want to speak, it knows the blacklisted words, it knows about your offer, it knows about your business. And you're just going to copy all of this onto your 5th doc in the Drive. You're going to make a 5th doc in your Drive folder, and then when you've got 5 over there, you'll see on the Google Doc, okay, that there's this little tab called a custom GPT setup. Guys, I'm going to help you create a custom GPT. Now, if you've tried creating a custom GPT in the past, but it hasn't generated you the results that you want, it's either because you didn't follow the steps that I just went through in enough detail, or because you don't already have the right social media frameworks and the copywriting frameworks that are designed to get leads and clients through social media, okay? So with that being said, here are the steps. So guys, it's very, very simple. This step, you guys have done the hardest part. You're gonna click on this tab that I've got here on the doc, Custom GPT Setup, or inside of ChatGPT, you can see here, there's this GPTs section where you can hit create. So you can always hit on under the GPTs, you can hit explore and then you can hit create. Guys, what we're doing here is not, this is not basic stuff. This is like advanced stuff here that we're going through. So I just want to give you guys a, kudos for tracking with me here. And if you've felt it's a bit hard to keep up, please don't be too hard on yourself, okay? Because we are going pretty fast right now for the sake of time, okay? So just FYI, okay? So the next steps, all right? I want to make sure that you guys are, Kevin, you said it's great. Thank you. I'm glad that you like it. Cool. So the next steps, guys, what we're going to do, you've gone on to GPTs, you've hit create, you're going to configure your writer. Okay, so inside of here, we go on configure. Really important, name it. Okay, so you want to name it, same as me. You, AI, and then your name. My name's Lauren, right? So I'm going to type it like that. I'm just writing example because I don't want to, forget that because I've already got one, right? So just FYI. So you've just typed the name in there. Really simple, yeah? After that, you're going to enter the description. It doesn't really matter. Lauren clone. Just type whatever, Lauren clone. Okay, that's fine. Okay. After that, instructions. So you know how we just went through step 5 and we got the instructions and you pasted them onto your Google Doc? You guys are going to paste that in here. So you guys put it on a Google Doc. You're just going to paste it into here, okay? Now we're going to upload all the files. So you know how we created 5 Google Docs inside of your Drive folder? You need to download all of them except the instructions one. So just go ahead and download those Google Docs. You can download them as PDFs. Okay, so as an example, how we do it, I'll just show you. So we're going to just download all of them, except the instructions. We don't need to download the instructions. Y-O-U-A. So you just click on all of those, right click, download all of them. Don't know why it's taking its sweet time. Okay, I've got them all now. Got the zip folder. It just gave all of them to me. So now what you're going to do once you've downloaded them, we're going to upload them, okay? So you'll upload them into this knowledge section. Can you hit upload files and then just upload them for me there? Those 4. And then from there, you hit create. In the top right here, you hit create. And with regards to the sharing, I personally just usually put it to anyone with a link or only me. I want to know so far, we hit on this, there's this thing that says GPTs. You hit on explore and then you hit create and then it's already on configure. You make sure it's called configure. You give it a name. I like to call it UAI Lauren, right? You give it a description. It doesn't really matter. You just call it clone. And then from the doc that you guys made, which had the instructions on it, you paste the instructions here. From there, you just go to knowledge and all of the Google Docs that are in your drive, except the instructions, you download them onto your computer and then you just upload them here. Very, very simple. And then you just hit create and you've created your clone. What we've done up until this point, you trained ChatGPT to become your content clone. Obviously, you can go back through what we just went through to add more detail if you want to, but we have still quite a lot more to get through. Guys, okay, so the first and most important step is that moving forward, every time you guys create content moving forward, please open your new custom GPT. Can you guys see it in the sidebar there? Guys, don't just open like the regular ChatGPT interface. You guys see it? Okay, good. Okay, because you guys have now trained your very own custom GPT to become your own UAI, meaning that it's trained on yourself, your offer, you've given it unqualified words, it's authentic to you, and you've given it instructions to become your social media content clone. So now whenever you go into it, it will pull content from your knowledge, not the random knowledge on the internet. I would recommend that you actually take a few hours to go ahead and have those real long conversations just to give it more nuance, right? Because the more nuance it has, the better the content is going to be that it creates. But it's not vital. You guys have done like the bare minimum that's better than what you were doing before. Okay? So now I want to help you guys create all of your content in 53 minutes or less. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. If you guys go to the training doc that I've given to you, there's a tab called UAI use case example. I want you guys to click that. So basically now what you guys are going to do, you're going to start with the following prompt, which is basically this. Just copy what's in that, copy that into your UAI. So don't just go into a regular, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go into my UAI and I'm going to paste that prompt. What's going to happen next, guys, is as follows, okay? Here's what it's going to look like. So it's going to give you content ideas for today that follows the specifications, okay? Are those, if you guys have pasted that prompt into your UAI, I would like to ask you, does it sound aligned to what you would usually speak about with regards to content? Is it like a good idea that it's given you? Basically, what you're then going to do is it's going to basically ask you, you know, do you want this to be turned into a full post in your voice? You're going to tell it yes. And it may ask you which hook you want to use. So I want you guys to just pick one of those ideas and tell it which idea you want and tell it that you want it turned into a full post. Okay, so just spend, 20 seconds doing that right now and it will return to you a full post. So guys, next step, don't miss this part. Once you've got it to give you the full post, I want you guys to, we're not going to do this right now, but you will then copy it onto a document and spend about 5 minutes per post editing for accuracy. Okay. And then you repeat that 7 times until you have all your content for the week done. So here's how it looks in reality. You spend about, 1 minute prompting and about 5 minutes editing per post, which is roughly, 6 minutes per post. If you think about, if you want to go ahead and post every day, which you don't need to do, but 6 minutes per post times 7 posts, right? That's 42 minutes a week. And then let's just say, another 1 to 2 minutes posting per day, which obviously leads to less than an hour a week of creating content.
The reality is you now have UAI set up, an AI trained on yourself, your offers, the unqualified words, your authenticity, and the instructions. But if you're not sure what frameworks to use or social media posts that are actually going to get reach for your business, then in the description there is a link to book a call with my team. We can build out the strategy completely for you and even install and run the AI tools for you. And in this next video, I'm showing you how you can have Claude Code or Cowork run this entire system for you in less than 30 minutes a week. So click that video, watch it next, and I'll see you over there so we can automate this entire thing.